you're in Tumbling Creek right now. And then you're fly casting for trout or smallmouth bass.
Yep.
Any luck?
Well, earlier I caught quite a few trout down through this same stretch. I think they've all got the sore mouth right now.
Yeah,
but,
that's right.
I was hoping to catch another one.
Catch another one?
Yeah. But,
yeah, this is pretty down through here where the Tumbling Creek and the North Fork of the Holston River meet up. We want to do a property tour. So just to let people know what we're doing down here. So we got 42 acres on Tumbling Creek Road. That auction ends on April 11th at 3 p.m. That's a Friday. And people can get all the information at vaauctionpro.com. And then they can also call you if they want to set up a showing. What's your number again?
It's 276-701-3446.
Okay, good deal. Well, this is beautiful. And then there's a lot of open fields just right here that run along the river, and the properties on both sides of the road. And it's got a barn on it, and then it also has, I guess the house is probably about a little over 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got what, a couple bedrooms and a bath in it?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
3 bedroom, single bath.
Yeah. All right.
And,
we're gonna keep an eye on you, see if you catch something. But I kind of wanted Drew to go down here on the tip right here where both of these, where this creek and the river meet up, because I think it's real pretty going down through there, and then you know, shooting back up towards there. So we'll just do that while you finish up here and get out of the river. And then if you can tell us about some of the history of the property. Sure. I thought that was really neat when you were telling me about that.
All right, I'll do it.
So we're located in Saltville, Virginia, which is Washington County, Virginia. And yeah, there's some geese down there too. But man, this is pretty property, don't you think?
It is.
It is. So it's got a mix of open land down here along the river, and then we also have, you know, that mountainside up through there, and then you can't see the house from where we're standing, but that small house that we were talking about is just right up there past that barn, and the property's on both sides of the road. But this is really awesome river frontage. This is a hard find right here. To have Tumbling Creek run into the North Holston like this, and where they meet up with all these little falls and rocks and stuff, this is gorgeous. I am so glad that we got to look at this. This is a great property, and we got a beautiful day to look at it. So, Bill, what do you think we go up here where we can see kind of this
big pool here?
Yeah, the low line land right here, and then I want you to talk about the history on this property a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure thing. Also, you mentioned there's 1,500 feet of frontage on Tumbling Creek.
Okay.
And there's 2,000 plus feet of frontage on the North Fork. It goes up North Fork River Road there.
Yeah.
So 2,000 feet.
Yeah, and this is good. Looks like you could canoe, kayak,
fish. You can run a jet ski on that.
Yeah.
Because it's deep right there.
It is deep, yeah. So before we get too far into it, anybody that wants any more information on this property or wants to set up, you know, a property tour, Bill will be glad to meet you down here. Of course, he's one of our real estate agents with United Country Blue Ridge Land and Auction. Bill's number is 276-701-3446. So just, you know, give Bill a call. He'll set it up, and if you got any questions, you can also ask him as well. I do want to see some footage on our video of the barn up there, so maybe get some now so they can kind of see the relation of it, and then we'll get some close-ups later in our tour. But let's walk up towards the trucks and, you know, get some footage of some of this deeper water here.
Right here it starts to shallow up a little bit.
The
swimming hole's right up here. You can see the big sycamore leaning out over the water.
You think anybody's up there swimming?
Not today.
Oh yeah, this is pretty. Yeah, you can tell it's much deeper up here on this side.
Oh yeah.
So if people want to wade and fish, go down there. Got the rapids down there, and then up here you just got this deep, calm river.
Yeah.
But
you could canoe this, kayak it.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty. And it goes all the way up around that bend, don't it?
Oh, it does, all the way up.
Yeah.
See where the trees are coming down, those pines break down? Goes up to that point there.
Where it starts opening up there?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we were coming in here, Drew and I were kind of talking about how you have an interest in history and how this property relates to that. So I think I'd like to hear the story myself.
Okay.
So I'll just start it off with, you know, I guess the owner of the property had found this.
They did.
You want to talk about it a little bit?
Okay. This, to me, appears to be a Confederate or a Union fighting knife.
Okay.
And they found it putting in a chicken coop, digging around the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The handle it had been broken, but the handle was completely deteriorated. Historically, the Confederacy got 2/3 of their salt from Saltville, Virginia.
Okay.
And so it was an integral part of being able to wage war
Mm-hmm.
in the Confederacy. And so therefore it was heavily fortified, especially the river, because that was a point of attack. And there was 2 gun emplacements, cannons, one here on this ridge pointing down the river, and another on that ridge pointing up the river.
Right.
And the topography was such that the only way that you could get to that to attack those points was with cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
When they tried too many ground attacks and too many people ended up getting killed, so eventually they called Stoneman's cavalry out of Knoxville, and he showed up. He came through 7 Mile Ford up here, across the farmland and country back in this area, and ground troops attacked from this area. And between the 2 of them, they eventually overran the fortifications, and the Confederate colonel in charge of protecting Saltville's salt-producing capabilities fled through the gap here, called Lyons Gap, up Tumbling Creek, and went all the way back to Tazewell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retreated to Tazewell. The next day, Stoneman's cavalry and the Union forces destroyed the salt-making capability in Saltville. But within a month, they were back in production, but too little, too late.
Right.
But anyway, that's part of the history of this particular piece of property.
That's great. Yeah, that's neat. That's good to know. And you know, so you do have the history of the property, which you did a great job of describing that. Again, it's 42 acres, and you said you got, what was it? How much frontage? 2,000 feet.
There's 2,000 feet of frontage on the North Fork of the Holston River.
And then you got 1,500 on the Tumbling Creek.
on Tumbling Creek.
Yeah, and then you've got Tumbling Creek Road that kind of goes, you know, kind of splits the property, because we've got some more acreage over there on the other side where the house is.
Yeah, we sure do.
Yep.
Yeah, on the North Fork, the state of Virginia has put a regulation that you cannot keep any smallmouth less than 20 inches.
Okay.
So, and you can only keep one a day. So therefore,
should be full of them.
It is full of 17, 18, 19-inch fish.
Yeah.
And then of course Tumbling Creek comes out of the Clinch Mountain Wildlife Management area.
Yeah.
And it's a put and take stream, stocked 4 days a week, and that's where all these trout come from. Anytime there's any high water, they just flush right down the creek.
Okay.
And this section through here is not stocked.
Yeah.
But only because of it's all on private land.
Nice. So you got a little bit of everything. I mean, beyond like just the historical part of this property makes it really unique and special. You also have a ridge with woods. You've got open land down here by the river. You've got privacy and seclusion. I noticed that when you came in. You know, you're going to be back here. You're going to have plenty of privacy and seclusion. So again, it's 42 acres. Got a home that's a little over 1,000 square feet. Got a barn. Got open land. Got wooded ridges. And again, you can get all that information at vaauctionpro.com. That's vaauctionpro.com. Auction ends on Friday, April 11th at 3 p.m. And again, you and Barb's going to do a couple of previews out here, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going to do one on March 21st
Yeah.
and April 4th.
April 4th.
Yeah, so check it out, vaauctionpro.com. You're not going to want to miss this one, folks. And if you want to come look at the property, I want to give Bill's phone number one more time. That's 276-701-3446. If you have any questions about the actual auction process, my name is Matt Gallimore. I am the auctioneer, and my phone number is 540-239-2585. Get in there, register, bid often, and bid early.